Right now at 6 video you'll see only on NBC2. This car was pulled from a pond just feet from where a body was found. We'll tell you where the death investigation stands this morning.
Plus, a new facility with thousands of jobs supposed to come to Fort Myers now scrapped. We'll tell you who pulled the plug.
Plus, it's back. It doesn't smell or look pretty. We'll tell you where blue-green algae was just spotted years after not being seen.
We're talking to the experts about the dangers it poses for you.
And 3 days in a row with record heat, 95 yesterday, 96 and 96 the previous 2 days. I'll let you know if today is going to be another one for the books in your First Alert forecast.
Live, the news you count on. NBC2 News Today.
6 o'clock. Thanks for counting on NBC2 News Today on this Wednesday. I'm Lisa Spooner.
And I'm Alan Campbell. Folks, we have a nice sunny morning ahead of us here in Southwest Florida, but we can expect that to change later today. Let's send things over now to First Alert meteorologist Jason Dunning for a look at our hump day forecast. Jason?
Good morning. Yeah, sunshine to start the day, storms to finish it. We're not going to see a fourth day in a row of record heat. Today's forecast 94. The record happens to be 97. That was set back in 1996. So we're not going to get quite toasty, at least for most of us. If you're in Immokalee, though, a little bit farther inland, those temperatures will get up into the upper 90s. This morning on the NBC2 First Alert Live Doppler radar, some of us being treated to quite the lightning show. We had some lightning late last night, too. Those storms have pushed well offshore. So if you're watching, let's say, from Rotunda, Placida or Bokeelia, even Cape Coral. And if you look back off to the west, you're probably going to see some of those lightning flashes over the Gulf waters. But again, that's about 45 miles to 50 miles away from us at a safe distance. And we're looking at nothing but sunshine here as we kick off the morning. And that's going to send temperatures up to 90 degrees by lunchtime. And then really anywhere from about 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock today, all the way through late this evening, even beyond sunset, we're going to be tracking those showers and thunderstorms bubbling up close to the coast first. Notice how our rain chances increase with each passing hour this afternoon. It's not going to be a complete washout, but there's going to be numerous showers and thunderstorms out and about today. So after we hit that high of 94, we're going to get cooled off pretty quickly as we head into the evening with some of that rain-chilled air. You can see, here's your latest futurecast by 2:30 and 3. Some of those areas of rain and storms already lining up along and west of I-75 and out closer to the lake. We'll map out those rain chances together, plus update you on those 2 hurricanes in the Atlantic and 2 more areas to watch farther out at sea. That's ahead at 6:15.
Sounds good, Jason. Thank you. Right now, I want you to take a look at this video you're only going to see right here on NBC2. A car was pulled from a pond at a Fort Myers Beach nature preserve. So this is actually at the Matanzas Pass Preserve where a woman's body was found on Monday. Divers went into the water and pulled out the white Ford. Now, the sheriff's office this morning isn't saying if it is connected to that woman's death.
They came by my house and they asked me what I knew about, whatever happened. I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. They said there was a woman found in the lake.
Detectives tell NBC2 they are still working to identify that woman. You can count on NBC2 to stay on top of this story. And NBC2 first broke this news just before 11 o'clock last night. Make sure you download our NBC2 News app so you can have all the latest breaking news in the palm of your hand. You can download it in the Apple Store or on Google Play, and make sure you turn those push notifications on.
From your Cape Coral News team, there's a new push to make the city safer. City Council will meet later today to talk about adding more sidewalks along busy roads. Today they are focusing on the area of Southwest Santa Barbara Place from Nicholas Parkway to Southwest 20th Street. Now this is a popular business area that's often filled with kids walking to and from school. NBC2's Chandler Blackman joins us live from Cape Coral High School this morning. So Chandler, what can we expect if this is approved?
Yeah, Lisa, well, right now you can see that the sidewalk right here where I'm standing is fine, but then eventually it turns into grass, which is not good when you're walking, and it's also unsafe not having that separation from the curb. We actually, as you just mentioned, Lisa, we actually just saw a student walking to school not too long ago on this road. So the goal for today's Cape Council meeting is to simply improve that. If approved, Cape Coral Mayor John Gunter will execute a local agency program agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation for the design of sidewalks located in the areas on your screen to match the existing sidewalk along Santa Barbara Boulevard. The city and FDOT say they will like to improve safety for pedestrian traffic, especially students, as I just mentioned, who walk to Cape Coral High School down the road and nearby businesses. Now, if approved, the city will use more than $113,000 to design 5-foot wide concrete sidewalks but the project wouldn't start until 2025. You can count on NBC2 to keep you updated on what's decided today. I'm live in Cape Coral. Chandler Blackman, NBC2.
All right, thanks, Chandler. 6:05 right now. A massive Amazon facility that would have brought hundreds of jobs to Fort Myers is now off the table. It was set to go near I-75 and State Road 82, the Forum area. Amazon blames lower than expected revenue as the main reason for abandoning the project. We reached out to the city, who tells us the project is on hold for now, but they believe a large-scale warehouse facility is not off the table for the future. This is now the second Amazon facility in Lee County alone to pump the brakes. A 181,000 square foot building that was reported to be an Amazon facility was set to go on Southwest Pine Island Road, but it was called off as well. Residents in the Sandoval and Saddlewood Farm communities raised their concerns to the city council, and then the developer withdrew the application. Now, while those two Amazon facilities are a no-go, there is one in South Fort Myers off Alico Road that appears to be thriving, and it has some big business moving in next door. Tesla will be moving in, creating a repair facility. This is expected to bring hundreds of jobs to the area. Now we are working to find out when this will open. Count on NBC2 to keep you updated on the progress.
8:06, and this morning neighbors in LaBelle say they are concerned after finding bullet holes. Their mailboxes and cars were hit after a shooting back on August 27th. One woman says her neighborhood is usually pretty quiet, but the night of the shooting, she thought she heard fireworks until she went outside and saw the damage.
It is scary, because these are bullets, like I said, you don't know where they're going to land.
And that's drive by, they could come down here and fire in my house, hit me or my mom.
The Henry County Sheriff's Office says the car involved is registered to 20-year-old Jim Panay Martinez, who's currently in the Glades County Jail. Henry County says new charges are pending.
Lee County detectives are trying to identify at least 55 people who were unknowingly caught on a hidden camera inside a family bathroom at Bowman's Beach on Sanibel Island. And at least 5 of them are younger than 10 years old. Dana Caruso is accused of placing that camera inside a fire alarm. Investigators say he would watch people go in and out of the stall through an app on his phone. He faced a judge for the first time yesterday, and we have learned he has since bonded out. He will be back in court in October.
New this morning, 20 families are without a home in Orlando due to a massive fire that happened just a couple of hours ago. I want to show you this video that was posted by a reporter not too long ago, but you can see the scene was very active just a couple of hours ago. And reporters on scene say that the fire was sparked by lightning. Crews say a lightning strike hit one of those buildings in that apartment complex, and it took roughly 30 to 40 minutes to put out the fire. Now we know that there is no injuries, Alan, but 20 families were displaced.
Yeah, just praying for all those families this morning as they go through this tough time. Brianna, thank you. Well, this dead shark here was found under the Big Carlos Pass Bridge Friday. The video was actually posted to TikTok. Now the Lee County Sheriff's Office and FWC are looking into if the person who did this could actually face some charges. The shark had sunglasses on, laying on a towel near a bag of food. Whoever did this also wrote on that shark with a marker. Fishermen say they are furious this happened.
Now, I understand if you're going to eat it, go right ahead. But to do something like that and just leave it like that, I feel that somebody who does it has some sick mental issues.
Even if it's playing as a joke or anything, it's not. That's more of like a sick joke.
Yeah, and FWC says this is not a joke. Now they're looking for the person who did this. If you have any information, give them a call. Well, this morning, a suspect tied to a Collier County homicide is out of jail. Deputies say Juan Pablo Rodriguez was released. Deputies say he was driving the car during a shooting. 34-year-old Jacqueline Pattinson was shot and killed. 36-year-old William Greenman Jr. was shot in the head. This morning, he remains in the hospital. Collier County deputies arrested John Christ for that shooting. Investigators say Christ went to Pattinson's home to collect money before allegedly shooting her. You can count on NBC2 to continue following this case.
Bodies found 15 years ago have now been identified and tied to Southwest Florida's notorious serial killer, Daniel Conahan, a.k.a. the Hog Trail Killer. 8 bodies were found off Arcadia Street in Fort Myers back in 2007. Now, with the help of extensive DNA research and family members, investigators just identified Bobby Soden as one of the bodies. But for other families, closure isn't with them yet.
Feels like a good accomplishment. We're really making progress, and it helps fortify our determination that we're going to keep going until we get them all identified. We're actually starting on the next one right now.
Investigators are asking for anyone who might have known Snowden in the 90s to contact them. Meantime, Conahan is on death row for a murder he committed in 1996 in Charlotte County. Your time right now is 6:10. More blue-green algae is forming in our waters. We'll tell you how it could affect your health.
You'll have 20 of them in the wintertime.
Plus, a push to clear up the Bimini Basin. We'll tell you what the city of Cape Coral is now proposing, and we'll tell you how it will work.
And if you're in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Lehigh Acres today, we're going to see a good chance for storms. Here's a snapshot of today's Futurecast over Lee County. We saw some good soakers across the Cape yesterday. You're in line to see that again today. I'm mapping out those rain chances for you coming up at 6:15.
It is 6:13. Governor Ron DeSantis says Gulf water conditions are the best they've been in 4 years because of his work in office. The governor was on Fort Myers Beach yesterday along with several water quality advocates. They highlighted the work that's being done with the water release from Lake Okeechobee and how it impacts the Everglades.
And we're moving more water south than anyone could remember in the modern history of the state of Florida. I saw the economic effects of this, and we wanted to do what we could to avoid that, obviously.
As for the rest of his campaign, Governor DeSantis said he has no plans to debate with Democratic challenger Charlie Crist.
Well, speaking of Charlie Crist, the Democratic governor candidate was in Orlando with his running mate Carla Hernandez yesterday. He announced the Choice is Choice tour, emphasizing that a big focus of his campaign will be on abortion and reproductive rights. Remember, Election Day is November 8th.
Thick, green, nasty-smelling mats of algae are popping up in the brackish water canals of North Fort Myers along West Blue Water Terrace. So Florida Gulf Coast University actually confirms that this is toxic blue-green algae. Researchers want to know how easy those toxins can disperse into the air and if they are a hazard to people living nearby.
But if you can smell those compounds, what else is in the air? That's what I would say. And if it were me, I would not be going out breathing this air in.
Experts say they're not sure what caused this most recent bloom, but say it could be a combination of sunlight and available nutrients in the water.
And we are expected to get a water quality update today from Cape Coral. Right now, they are reporting no algae outbreaks. Bubble curtains are still being installed. They are currently waiting to work on the Chantry and Coral Point canals. City Council meets at 4:30 this afternoon. We'll let you know if there's anything that comes from that meeting that you need to know about.
A boat. Well, it's a big headache for some people in Cape Coral. City officials are working to put an end to rundown vessels in the Bimini Basin. A proposed ordinance would allow boaters to moor their vessels for a small fee. It would be 5 days on, 1 day off. Councilman Tom Hayden says the city is waiting on permit approvals from the DPA and Army Corps of Engineers before eventually moving forward.
I'm okay with it, as long as it doesn't get overcrowded because of that. But how can you control that?
I have 20 of them in the wintertime.
Councilman Hayden says officials will need to discuss a second ordinance on a daily mooring rate and how many boats the basin can hold at a time. Count on NBC2 to keep you updated as this moves along.
If you are about to head outside in the next few minutes on this Wednesday morning, don't be surprised if you see a few flashes of lightning off in the distance, and all those storms are over the Gulf of Mexico this morning. We had some late night storms last night. Hopefully it didn't wake you up. You're able to sleep pretty well, but I just want to show you a picture of one of those thunderstorms. This is from South Fort Myers, and you can see the strobes of lightning, those flashes off in the distance. This was sent in by NBC2's Gage Golding, and I'm showing you this because we're going to see another shot for some late night storms tonight, which could last as late as 11 o'clock and midnight, similar to what we've seen for the last couple of nights. And on the NBC2 First Alert Live Doppler radar, we're dry now from Cape Coral out to LaBelle and Lehigh Acres, but there's the lightning that you might see if you look back off to the west. That's about 50 miles off the coast of the Cape Hayes Peninsula. And just to show you where that storm's going, this is our 1 hour Futurecast. So we'll fast forward and project where that rain is going through 7 o'clock all the way up to around 7:15, and that's going to stay deep in the Gulf waters, which means we're set to see a full blast of sunshine as we go through the morning. And taking you down to Naples, this is from Bayview Dental Arts, and across Collier County today, our rain chances start to kick in by the early part of the afternoon. So right around 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, Can't rule out at least some spotty areas of rain and even some lightning strikes. But then notice how those clouds really beef up and build in through the mid to late afternoon from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock and even later into the evening. I know those of you in Naples saw some late night storms last night around 11 o'clock and 11:30, and we're going to see some of those longer lasting storms again tonight. And I'll show you that on the Futurecast in just a moment. As far as temperatures are concerned, we've hit record highs the last 3 days. Likely not going to do it today because today's record is 97 for Fort Myers and Cape Coral, forecasting 94 today. 94 for those of you in Bonita Springs until the rain starts to come in and cool you off. And those temperatures can drop off pretty quickly once that rain moves in. A lot of you are probably begging for some of that rain to help cool off your neighborhood and bring some heat relief. And you can see what it's going to feel like outside today with the humidity factored in. Those feels like numbers and those heat index values anywhere from 105 to 110. So it's going to be a scorcher for early September standards. Here's that Futurecast. I want to start things up around 10 o'clock. We've got our winds coming in from east to west today, so storms will gradually build from our inland areas out closer to the coast. But along the Gulf Coast sea breeze, early in the afternoon, there's some of those spotty areas of rain here close to I-75 and 41. Those will continue to multiply and become more widespread through the late afternoon and this evening. And then by 7 o'clock, you can see things appear to be quieting down, but I would expect to see the Atlantic breeze come in from the east, and that will help to bring more storms closer to the coast. Notice the timestamp right around 11 o'clock midnight tonight, so we could be treated to another lightning show. So we've got a few late-lasting storms into the evening. Temperatures will cool off overnight into the upper 70s. And just to give you a heads up, we're going to change the weather pattern a little bit on Thursday and Friday. We've got our change in wind direction. Our winds coming in from the Gulf of Mexico both of those days. So don't be surprised if some rain and thunderstorms impact you before lunchtime Thursday and Friday, and the overall coverage of rain will also start to go up. And the tropics, we're tracking 2 hurricanes, Danielle and Earl, both Category 1 storms, and 2 more areas way out in the Atlantic, one with a 60% chance to develop. We're going to talk more about those coming up in your first alert forecast at 6:30, but we know about Earl and Danielle. We say goodbye to Earl over the next few days. It'll come very close to Bermuda as we go into Thursday night and Friday and likely becoming a major hurricane, but we like it when they stay out at sea and are not a threat to the U.S. mainland. Looking at the next 10 days together, 94 today, but then temperatures will start to come down Thursday and Friday because we expect to see higher rain chances and more clouds with that rain starting earlier in the day. More typical summer weather Saturday, Sunday, into next week with temperatures in the low to middle 90s. That's your first alert forecast.
Traffic on NBC2 is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. If you've been injured, call Morgan & Morgan today or visit forthepeople.com.
6:20 is your time for this Wednesday morning. If you're heading out the door, you are taking a live look right now of I-75. This is right near Alico Road. If you're heading down south, it is looking pretty good, as well as the northbound lanes. We're not seeing any crashes this morning and no major delays to track in any of our counties. That's your NBC2 Traffic Alert.
Just she was a great person, and I didn't realize how damn great until now.
This morning, a mother is mourning the loss of her own. You'll hear her message for her small community as they come together to help out.
And crews are currently working round the clock to get mosquitoes under control, but a viral social media post claims the spraying is doing more harm than good. Look at whether that's true or not. 6:23 this morning, we're hearing from the DeSoto County family who lost 2 of their own over the weekend. Kaylee Hampton and her 13-year-old son Kale died after being hit from behind while they were riding on their John Deere Gator on County Road 660. Kaylee's mom says she is just blown away by the support they are receiving. She's thankful for all the help from the community, including the donations to help with medical bills.
Kaylee is gone, but she's okay because she's with one of her babies. She left her other baby with us and her other 4 babies with us. But she's okay. Just she was a great person. And I didn't realize how damn great until now.
Kaylee's husband and other son are still hospitalized with injuries. FHP is not sharing any information about the driver who hit the family because the investigation is still active, but count on NBC2 to keep you updated on that.
6:24, the Collier County Mosquito District says their chemicals are safe after a Facebook post went viral saying otherwise. So the post actually claims that the insecticide used hurts the environment. Collier Mosquito beefed up spraying since a confirmed local case of dengue fever last month. They say the chemicals are safe and only impact mosquitoes.
When we apply the material, we apply at an ultra low volume. The size of the droplets coming out of our aircraft are less than 20 microns in size. So they're very small, basically less than the size of a human hair.
So the district says they are being transparent about all of this. Their website shows where, when, and what they're spraying at all times. And as we said, there's been one case of dengue fever found in Collier County. The disease cannot spread person to person, but it's important to be aware. The same goes for West Nile virus. Chickens in Lee and Charlotte County have recently tested positive. The best way to protect yourself is to drain standing water near your home, avoid being outdoors in the dark, and also use bug spray.
The man accused of killing a child and her babysitter in Cape Coral more than 30 years ago is expected back in court today. Joseph Zeiler is charged in the 1990 killing of 11-year-old Robin Cornell and Lisa Story. The two were found suffocated to death and sexually assaulted. Right now, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Zeiler has a motions hearing today, and his trial is set to start in October. We'll let you know what happens in court later on. Well, it is time to get boosted once again, but are all these shots really necessary? You'll hear the changes health officials are now looking to make when it comes to those COVID-19 vaccines. Straight ahead.
Plus, more golf carts may be hitting the roads soon in Fort Myers. We'll tell you about the changes City Council is now considering that has some people concerned about safety.
And ahead at 6:29 in your first alert forecast, I'm going to take you on a trip about 4,000 miles away from us. I'm tracking 2 more tropical waves, one of these with a 60% chance to develop. I've got some new spaghetti plots to show you where this could end up in the next 5 to 7 days. That's coming up.
Traffic on NBC2 is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. If you've been injured, call Morgan & Morgan today or visit forthepeople.com.
And for my Charlotte County commuters, it's looking pretty good right along US 41 as well as I-75. A slight slowdown right along Kings Highway if you're heading down to US 41 this morning, but no crashes to report. That's your NBC2 Traffic Alert.